Good afternoon. Welcome to DMH Cares Show Me Hope. I am your host, Rachel Jones, Manager of Trauma-Informed Treatment here at the Department of Mental Health. My chat moderator is Dave Kingsbury. He's the Director of Deaf Services, also here with the Department of Mental Health. DMH Cares Show Me Hope is sponsored by SAMHSA, FEMA, and the Missouri Crisis Counseling Program. We're really excited to have you all join us this afternoon. And for those of you who this is your first time, welcome to the coolest 30 minutes that you're going to have all week. And for those of you who are rejoining us because you've been following for a while, welcome back. This is what I like to call the Hope Zone, where we create and maintain a safe space. We support one another, connect with each other, and really focus on health and wellness over the next 30 minutes. So thank you for doing your part in making this a positive space. We're going to ease on in to our mindfulness activity, which we do every episode as a way to just practice mindfulness together. So today's is going to be pretty easy. It's going to just be breathing for 2 minutes. I encourage you to also maybe do a little bit of light stretching and just getting yourself comfortable. So you can keep your eyes open, you can close your eyes if that's more comfortable, whatever you need to do, but you will see a color bar stretch across your screen for the next 2 minutes. So just try to focus on your breathing and relaxation. And so let's get in a comfortable position and let's begin. Okay, so that's our 2-minute mindfulness. You can rejoin and focus again on the screen when you're ready. Usually I notice after I do that breathing and stretching, my speech slows down, my tone is a little different. I'm just much more relaxed and able to focus and pay attention. I hope the same for you, and I hope that you've been practicing some mindfulness techniques on your own. All right, we talk about COVID-19, but we talk about it briefly. It's not the typical type of COVID call that you sometimes are on where you're getting a lot of stats and information. But we do want to point you to the vaccination website. So covidvaccine.mo.gov. Dave just put that in the chat for us. So if you want to grab that and check it out, this is going to give you some up-to-date information about where you can go to get vaccines and getting the facts about vaccines. And we know that there's a lot of new information coming out as people are getting vaccinated and things are starting to open up and restrictions are being lifted. And so we encourage you to visit that website if you haven't already and share it with other people. Sometimes we can get information from all kinds of sources, but this is a reliable source in the state of Missouri. So today I want to talk a little bit about the Well-Being Playbook. So this is from the American Hospital Association. I think Dave is going to drop a link in the chat. And I'm sorry, but that link is kind of long, but it will take you to their playbook. And it is designed for people who are in the healthcare setting, but there's some information that we can all glean from it, even if we don't work in a hospital setting. I thought this one was pretty cool, so I wanted to spend a little bit of time looking at it together today. So this is a way for you to begin talking more comfortably about mental health, identifying where we all might be on this spectrum, recognizing where someone else might be, and then understanding how when we're exposed to stress, depending on where our baseline is, our response is going to be a little different. So if you'll start with the green section. So this is somebody who's practicing health and wellness. They're feeling pretty good and they're stable. And so they're healthy, they're fit, they're well, they feel safe, they feel connected to people, they're confident and capable. And then in the yellow, this is someone who's starting to react to stressors. So what reaction can look and feel like is you can feel drained, sore, because remember we've talked before about how stress isn't just in our mind. It's stored in our muscles and our tissues. And so our body can actually be sore because we're constantly in a state of stress and alert. We also might be irritable and worried and anxious and down, starting to feel some depression or a low mood. Then the next category is when we're feeling injured. So this is when we're hurt. That might be physically or emotionally and psychologically hurt. We're feeling out of control. And then we start to get more symptomatic and it's more consistent. It's not something that we feel one day and then we don't for a few days. This might be something that's pretty much every day and it's starting to happen several days or weeks at a time. Feeling distressed. And then things are starting to get dysfunctional in our environment because our symptoms are starting to impair our ability to do things, not just at work, but at home too. And then the red category is when we're feeling ill. So this is when our symptoms are bad enough and chronic enough that they actually need a clinical diagnosis. And here's where we're impaired enough that we need to reach out and get some professional help. Things may start to get worse and then feeling kind of disordered. So if we go back to green, you notice some of the arrows? So the gray arrows are just showing if a person starts in the ready stage and they have routine stressors, they'll pretty naturally go over to the reacting stage because that's what we do when our stress response system is activated. But then we can bounce right back to the ready stage and we can recover pretty quickly. And then if you see even down at the bottom, the green arrows are talking about toxic stress exposure. So let's say COVID is considered a toxic stress for someone. They're doing pretty well, they're exposed to that toxic stress, that might move them all the way over to the injured category. But then typically they can recover and get back to feeling ready and well and balanced. So that's the goal that we all want to be in, but not all of us are there right now. So I do want you to just take a moment. If you are comfortable putting what level you think you're currently in, you can do that in the chat box. If not, I just encourage you to reflect on that And most importantly, just understand that all of this is totally normal and expected. So if you've been feeling these ways, be gentle and compassionate with yourself. We're all going through a traumatic event together, and we've been at it now for a year. This month is the anniversary of COVID. All right, so I see some people saying they're in green, some people saying they're in orange some days, in yellow other days maybe. Dave, can you read out some of the other things coming through the chat?
Sure. We've got an orange, a green, several between green and yellow, another orange, another green, several more oranges, in green most days, a yellow, several yellows, yellows for most days for a long time.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So I hope that this is a helpful graphic. I encourage you to, screenshot it and send it out to people. Use it to talk to your own teams wherever you're at, in whatever department or division you're in any area across the state. The more we can talk about mental health and help people have the language, the easier it's going to be for us to support ourselves and one another through this. All right, I want to move us into another discussion that a lot of people are having right now. As I mentioned, we've been at this for a year and a lot has changed. And some of you even put that you're somewhere in the yellow stage. You start to notice that feeling drained. Things are chronic. So for some people, it's really hard to tell, am I stressed or am I depressed? And at what point does this move from one thing to the next? So on the screen here is some information from Mental Health America, and it's just some basic common symptoms of both stress and depression to help us kind of tease out, where do I land, if I land somewhere at all. And maybe it's not you, but maybe it's somebody who you work with, somebody who you care about, who you live with, and you're noticing things that are present with them right now. And this can just help guide you. We all know there's been a tremendous amount of new stress with COVID. It's required us to shift, think differently, solve problems differently, and it's reordered our day-to-day habits in a lot of ways. But for some people, this has really been something that's caused them to spiral into a depression, or maybe they struggled with depression before then, so the isolation has made that worse. And so for those cases, it's time to maybe reach out to get professional help. People can do that through their employee assistance program. They can do it through their faith-based organization if they're comfortable doing that. They may even access their significant other or their spouse's employee assistance program. You may have a family provider who's been treating your family for a long time, and you can access them. And there are a plethora of online digital resources that people can use as well. So I did want to just show this and give you some language and some things to be looking for. And I'll stop there to make sure there's no questions or thoughts coming through in the chat about this, Dave.
Yes, we have a person asking, is it somewhat unexpected to find anger and rage? Oh, I'm sorry. Someone is commenting, it is somewhat unexpected to find anger and rage in depression symptoms.
Yeah, and that's a great point, and thank you for pointing it out. There's a couple things that sometimes can happen with depression. Some people internalize those feelings. Other people will externalize it, especially in young people, so in children and transitional age youth. Depression will sometimes be an outward expression, not so much an inward expression. So it's just something to gauge and to, ask questions about. But thank you for pointing that out. It is more rare. So I hope this information is helpful. Mental Health America's got a lot of great info, some of it even geared toward youth and students. And so if you've got youth and students at home, and you want to talk to them about this, that might be a great website where you can go to get the language and information. Now, I am really excited about what I want to show you next. I was contacted in between our DMH Cares episodes by Sean Hardgrove. He is an employee here at the Department of Mental Health. And I made a comment in one of our previous episodes that I enjoy painting, and that was kind of the catalyst. He and I exchanged a couple emails, and he graciously agreed to share with me his artwork and the reason he uses art and the benefits that he gets out of it. So we've put together a brief video, and there's no music, but I am going to read out the statements that you'll see on the screen with his outstanding artwork for anybody who can't see the screen or who has called in this afternoon. So without further ado, let's check out some of Sean's artwork and the benefits that he gets from doing it. Oh, hold on a minute. Let me go back. Sorry, it didn't play. There we go. Mental health benefits of drawing with colored pencil. There are many benefits of drawing. Drawing can help me remove myself from the world's problems. It's also very satisfying to see the finished product. It promotes a sense of accomplishment. Drawing also allows me to be more connected with some of my favorite memories, such as my grandparents' farm. You can also be as detailed or vague as you like. You have total control. Old black and white photos from earlier times can be turned into colorful pictures of the past. A favorite pet can be a good subject. Finishing a challenging drawing is satisfying and can boost self-esteem. Drawing something interesting can improve your mood and reduce stress. There are many other benefits as well. So thank you for watching that. I think that Sean is a very talented artist. If you have questions or comments, you can send them to him via email, sean.hardgrove@dmh.mo.gov. He's also offered his personal email, which is noblesky10@yahoo.com. I think Sean might be on the call today, so give him some love in the chat box. I appreciate him sharing his talent and his thoughts with us. And I encourage anybody on the call today, if there's something that you do that you find that is helpful, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We would love to share that in one of our episodes. And just remember that for the next several weeks, as we continue DMH Care Show Me Hope for 2021, we're really hoping to give you all the skills to be able to carry on this conversation in your own workplace and with your own team. So I see a lot of chats coming through, and that's really impressive. So thank you again, Sean, for sharing that. All right, so what is something that you love to do for fun? This is our wellness activity, fill in the blank. If you are comfortable sharing in the chat, please do so, and I'll have Dave read out the responses. And if you're not comfortable, that's fine too, but I do encourage you to think about and reflect on each of the prompts. So let's start with something I love to do for fun is...
People are saying ride my bike, play board games, play piano, play with the dog, go for a walk or run, gardening, puzzles, games, playing guitar, video games, camping, kayaking, spending time with family and friends, dancing, getting lost in a novel or cross-stitching, reading, hiking in the middle of the forest, playing dominoes and cards, practicing violin, cleaning and organizing, golf, going junking, long walks, cross-country skiing, dancing, miss dancing at the VFW with friends, do it in my living room now, creating beautiful crafts for people, quilting, coloring books, hanging with the kids, scrapbooking, crafting, soon gardening, walking my dog, FaceTiming with my granddaughter, cleaning my house, walking, running, exercise, yoga, reading, helping, shooting pool, walking, gardening, working in the yard, enjoying nature, exchanging postcards with people from all over the world, listening to calming music, laughing at my husband's witty comments.
Those are fun. Hey, I saw something I've not seen before. Post crossing? I think that's what that said. Whoever put in post crossing, could you explain that? Oh, okay, thank you. There's a website. I appreciate that. I'd love to learn from you all. Okay, how about this next one? What inspires me the most is go.
People are saying my family, other people, my granddaughter, Kingdom Hearts, other people, the need to succeed, my daughter, my kids and my faith, nature, the look on my clients' faces when my mom laughs, God, my son, my family, my daughter and family, my children, expressions of compassion, family, my parents, friends, my grandson who is in the Missouri National Guard, my son, family in springtime.
I saw one that came in privately that said the continued show of teamwork.
Also, family in springtime, the world around us, the Bible.
All right, thank you for sharing those. Okay, how about this next one? The best advice I've received recently was
People are saying, stay positive, take your breaks, enjoy what you do. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Failure is a bruise, not a tattoo. Be patient. Don't overwork. Keep a joy list. Take care of yourself. Do what you can do and clock out. Follow your gut. Humor is free therapy. Remember to take time for myself. Often do so much for others and not enough for myself. It is what it is. My hubby just told me that I need a break. Exercise and eat healthy meals. Don't be upset about grieving. What is grief if not love perseverating? Celebrate the small victories. When you get a crank call from your subconscious, hang up. You are the only person. Do your best that you can on that day. If you can dream it, do it. One step or day at a time if needed. Lower your expectations. Continue to pray.
those are very beautiful and inspiring. We might have to post those somewhere. You might see those in the future. The DMH Cares Best Advice. Thank you for sharing those. All right, let's move on to our next one. The best thing I've done for myself in the last week is
People are saying spend time with family. Took time off work to be with family. Played a video game. Did an art project. Didn't work on the weekend. Called friends who are far away. Salad. Bought flowers. Started to run again. Went to Texas to be with a granddaughter. Walked in fresh air over the weekend. Took a long hike in the woods. Organized my sewing table. Hopped in a hot tub. Hung out and had lunch with my daughter. Organized and decluttered my home. Gave myself a break for not being perfect. Had friends over to play video games and eat pizza. Hired my new lawn care team and sold some of the things that are not moving with me. Visited with my neighbor. Took time away from caregiving. Took a socially distanced road trip. Had a date night with my spouse. Had a barbecue with family and a son who came home from Florida. Took last Friday off to spend time with my family. Just sat outside in the sun.
Wonderful. Sounds like y'all are taking good care of yourself. I see some more coming through.
Yep. Enjoyed my birthday last week and helping others in need. Going outside, making awesome rice.
Those are fantastic. Thank you all for sharing. As always, I hope you also heard something that maybe you can do, giving you some ideas of ways that you can do something good for yourself in the coming week. All right, our tip of the week, which we do every episode. This one is educate yourself about common mental health symptoms so that it's easier for you to talk about them with others. So we've already mentioned a couple resources before, and hopefully on these calls, the more you participate, the easier it is for us to talk about how our mental health and wellness is impacted. All right, we've got some resources. Let's dig into them. The first is mental health first aid training. This is free, valued at $170 per person, and this is sponsored by DMH, Missouri Institute of Mental Health, and Mental Health First Aid. We probably have some mental health first aid trainers on the call, but if you're not familiar with it, it's really designed for people who are outside of the mental health system that don't have that formal training, but want to get enough information that they can know what to look for and they can help a person in need, connect them with professionals, or help them get just basic resources in their area. So if you're interested in becoming a mental health first aid trainer, you can go to the website that Dave dropped in the link. And these fill up very fast, so my apologies if some of them are already completely booked. And they do have youth mental health first aid as well. So if you work with youth and care about youth, then that's an opportunity for you too. We have some ongoing opportunities at DMH through our Mental Health Equity and Inclusion Alliance. So we've got a Equity and Inclusion Learning series where we are talking about race and how to create equitable and inclusive workplaces and communities. So please join us if you're interested. Dave put the registration link in the chat, and it is through WebEx. So you can also find it at stateofmo.webex.com. We also have a book study that's going on, and we're doing this also via WebEx or Zoom, I can't remember. But we've got the registration link, and this one is reading the book So You Want to Talk About Race. Our DMH YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe. We're putting out a lot of information, just mental health, managing stress, understanding COVID. So please subscribe so that you can get access to the videos and share them with people in your circle. I'm really excited about this, and I have been playing some of the music from our DMH Cares playlist from Spotify before the episode starts at 3:30. I had a little bit of trouble today because I'm recording live from our DMH studio, and we haven't been here for a while. But we have 6 playlists that have been generated by those of you on our DMH Cares call. And we will probably update this playlist soon because we need to add more music to it. But Dave put the links into the chat so that you can easily access them. Now remember, this is open Spotify. So if you have a subscription already to Spotify and you try to search DMH Cares playlist, you won't find it. We created this on the open free version of Spotify so that people wouldn't have to pay in order to get access to the music. So if you select the link, it will ask you to either set up an account or log in, and you can do that, and then you can get access to these playlists. So we encourage you to use them because music is very therapeutic. All right. We also encourage you to stay connected to us, and here are some ways that you can do it. First, our Show Me Hope Disaster Distress Helpline is available for anyone. So that's 1-800-985-5990. You can also text Talk With Us and you can text that to 66746. Of course, we want to see you back here in a couple weeks, so please register. You can register for all of them, and if you can't attend, that's fine. We're recording each one of them, and we upload them on the moshowmehope.org website. So you can go there and you can watch previous DMH Cares webinars. And just so you know, for those who are new, we've been doing this since last July, I think. So there are several DMH Cares webinars available to you. Please share them with your teams, share them with your family and friends in your community. These are available to all Missourians. You don't have to be a state of Missouri employee. You just have to live in Missouri to get access to them. So please help us share. So that wraps up our episode today. Thank you for your time. I am proud of you for prioritizing your own health and wellness in this busy world around us. I hope to see you back in a couple weeks, and thanks for all that you do. Take care.